In our communities, everybody has a role, including that little child playing on the playground at the park. We want to live in a home that is safe, that we can afford, where we can protect our families. Some of us are familiar with something called the social determinants of health, and it sounds really technical, but what I love about Vital Conditions is that it's very simple for one to understand.
This seems to be a framework that simplifies it. It makes it more humanistic.
The commonalities across the country and literally across the world is looking at basic needs for health and safety. It's not only looking at homelessness, but it's looking at humane housing, looking at reliable transportation, work and meaningful wealth, the things that we all need to work, lifelong learning. But what's unique about the Vital Conditions is it's wrapped in belonging and civic muscle.
As we look at what it takes for people to have good quality health and well-being in a community, all 7 of those conditions have to exist.
It's a framework that is being adopted by major institutions in our region and the social sector. And we want to kind of have a shared language and actionable organizing structure to build connections and alignment throughout the region and provide kind of a shared narrative.
We realize that about 60 to 80% of one's health outcomes actually are not a result of what happened in a doctor's office or in a hospital, but it's what happens in our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our homes, and even our personal decisions.
So for us, what that looks like in action is aligning. Are we truly trying to move the needle on each of these conditions?
It really begins with those that are struggling and suffering. And if you're going to build new systems around these essential vital conditions, it's important to start there.
There was an initial meeting after the conference, and that's a Michelle Decker kind of superpower of getting us all in the room. But the fact that all of us believed in it by the time we left and we were all drinking the Kool-Aid was super powerful.
That was really my vision initially. I talked with Michelle about this, that rather than each of us picking from different metrics that we're looking at, having the same dashboard we can look at and say, okay, we know this is important. We know we're struggling here. How do we work together?
If we're mapping things on Esri, like Paulette does for her work and IECC does for ours, this just adds to the value of us being able to have shared metrics around the work that we're doing and showing the impact that we have. We don't have time anymore. There's this sentiment for a lot of us working in community and around nonprofit work. We're seeing the implications of that in the forefront of those communities most marginalized and those most impacted by decisions that are being made without their voices.
As a region that is made up of 2 very distinct counties with a very diverse population, we need something that's going to bring us all together.
The Inland Empire is the future of the state of California. If you look at where the growth is coming, if you look at where the diversity is coming, this is the place. And we need to invest in the future here and know that it's going to drive many of the outcomes across the state as well.
We're not going to tinker around the edges and just work on one thing, but we're going to bring everyone in. We're going to really look at how do you transform communities by partnering, by knowing that if we're working in silos, it's not going to happen.
Collaboration is critical, and what even collective impact requires of us is to leave that agenda at the door and come together for a North Star. This sparks a lot of hope, and it wouldn't just uplift San Bernardino, it would uplift the Inland Empire.
I'm here to stay. I really believe in it.